So good morning, everybody. How are we doing? It's so it's so good to see all of you on here. Let me pull this up because I want to see who's watching. We got Tammy Burrow. Good morning, Tammy. Not a good day to be around your pool, I don't think. So Barb Walk. Oh man, Barb Walk. It's so awesome to see you. Valerie, good morning as well. Good morning, everybody. Luann, good morning to you. As people are jumping on, just chat. Uh, let me know in the chat room where you're chatting from, or where you're watching from, where you're streaming from. Let me know maybe what you're drinking. I got my coffee again today on this Monday morning, just kind of hanging out. Judy George, good morning. Lauren Wilson, good morning to you. It's so awesome to see you and hear and to see you jumping on. Tammy Burrow, work, work, work. You got to work, work, work so that you can play, play, play. So it's awesome. Yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed the last week of our Trust Fall series, in which we were talking about, we were talking about how we could trust God with our eternity when we pray the Lord's Prayer forever and ever and ever. Amen. And that we can place that trust in God and what God has done through the cross. So I hope you enjoyed it. We are really excited. Jenny, good morning. Good to see you jumping on. We're really excited this week, starting on Wednesday, but then also on Sunday, we begin a brand new series called Lazy River, and we're going to talk about how we can kind of gain back control of our lives, which probably hasn't been overly hard, considering we haven't been doing much and there's not much going on as far as life with kids' sports, all that good stuff. But yet, we're still going to focus on things like Sabbath, resting. How do we take back control of our calendars, and how do we live into the people and into the identity that God has created us? So that's a brand new series, again, that starts this week. It's called Lazy River. It's going to be 4 weeks, so I hope everybody can jump on. Yes, good morning. Yes, all good morning. All Jenny wants to know, or wants everybody to know, good morning with hearts. It is. It's a great morning. This is the day that the Lord has made. And then, this is an opportunity. Everybody's welcome podcast. This is an opportunity just to bring your second cup of coffee, because remember, first cup of coffee should be with Jesus, and tuning your life, tuning your day to God. And to Jesus. But then the second cup of coffee is the opportunity to just kind of sit down wherever you're at this morning, whether you're in your kitchen or on your patio or on your porch. Maybe you're driving to work. Maybe you're at work and you just need a little break. It's awesome. This Everybody's Welcome podcast is an opportunity for us to gather with people so that you can connect with people. What drives this podcast is connecting with people who make a difference in the world. And that's really what this is all about, highlighting people who are changing our city, changing the world with God's love. And so today, because yesterday was Father's Day, today I'm here to tell you my dad is jumping on with me, and it's going to be awesome because, first, he's my dad. Second, he's awesome. And third, it's a special opportunity for us to recognize and keep continuing to celebrate not just dads in our lives, but all men who are followers of Jesus, because I believe that if you are a follower of Jesus and you're a man, you are a dad. You play a role in helping shape the faith and form the faith in our children today. So without any further ado, you all ready for this? Give me a thumbs up if you're all ready for this, because this is going to be awesome. This is the Reverend, the very Reverend Larry Sturgis, also known as my dad. So here he is. Let me unmute him. All right, Dad, you can talk now. Dad.
I went to sleep.
Yeah, I know. You went to sleep. Listen to your son preach again. Man.
No, your mother's talking in the background. She could put me to sleep.
Yes, she's talking in the background. That's awesome. That is awesome. How you doing, Dad?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, man. I'm doing good. I won't lie. I got a little sun yesterday. And for everybody that's watching, Mom and Dad came out on the boat with us. We went out on Chippewa River. And I don't know if you were thinking like this was going to be like a laid back, we're just going to cruise the river. But when we showed up, I think we had 8 kids in the boat.
Yeah, I wonder where they came from.
Right. We just kind of hung out with all our Roosevelt friends, and all the kids, our kids' friends, and everybody was in the boat, and mom and dad came on, probably thinking, "Oh my God, what did we just do?" So it was fun though, right?
Oh, it was a lot of fun.
That's
Father's Day, remember.
yes. What's a describe for people basically our Father's Day tradition? I mean, I love it.
It's to ignore Dad, I think.
Come on, come on.
It's usually boating.
Yep, boating, and then what do we? And then typically we end up either at Adam's house or our house for a good grilling. We grill
Right.
probably some good steaks. And yesterday, you and mom brought some awesome steaks. Oh my gosh! And then mom left them so that I can eat them for lunch and supper again. So,
Right.
hey, so question. I got two questions. One, who's your favorite son?
Aiden.
Eve.
And
All right.
he's the son.
I know you're not gonna answer it, but who's a better griller, Adam or me?
Oh boy. Both of you.
He's not watching, so he's out somewhere in Lake Michigan
Oh,
fishing right now. So
you. I guess you did.
yeah, awesome. That is so cool. So how's life been for you and mom? I mean, I know how life has been for you and mom over the last 14 weeks. But I mean, are you glad that you're kind of getting somewhat back to normal again?
Well, like Mom says, it's the same. It's that's what retirement is.
Yeah,
Stay in the
yeah, yeah.
house,
Just
wait for the grad to come over.
yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't tough.
It wasn't tough. What was your favorite thing about what was your favorite thing about this weird time? Have you? I mean, you're a wise man in your years. Have you ever experienced anything like this before in your lifetime?
Not to this extent. I have lived through, and we've talked about this. We've lived through quarantine before.
Right.
When young and in school, and especially first, second, third grade, they would quarantine us for pink eye, whooping cough, measles, mumps, German measles. So I've had a full experience in being quarantined. You couldn't leave your house. They'd put a notice on your door warning people not to go into the house. So now these were diseases that are just very common and ordinary today, and they don't quarantine for them. So we've had that experience before.
But nothing to the extent where like our economy was literally, you know, shut
No,
down and
not like that. I've
okay.
had a quarantine experience, but not this kind of experience.
Right, right. Now, First Lutheran up in Exland, where you have been a pastor for, and we'll talk about this in a little bit, but how long have you been a pastor at First Lutheran?
41 years.
41 years. I'm 41. That is awesome. 41 years, and you always make the comment, this is your first call.
Yes, it was.
You've been in,
No, not really.
not really.
St.
Is-
Peter's in Little Chicago was my first call. That's where you were back.
Yes, yes, I was baptized there. But how long were you in Little Chicago?
3 years.
3 years. Okay, so this is technically, yeah, this is your second call. And it was awesome. We had a great relationship with First Lutheran down here at Central. We provided the opportunity. I think when all this started, you're like, hey, could we just maybe jump on with Central Lutheran? Because I don't know if you were really wanting to do sermons from your office and so forth and try to upload them to Facebook. And so we said, yeah. And so every Sunday we would welcome First Lutheran in Exland, and we would welcome Good Shepherd up in Ashland, Wisconsin. So did that go over really well?
It sure did.
Okay.
They really missed me.
Nice. Because my second question was gonna be, who's a better pastor in the
Well,
eyes of First Lutheran, you or their pastor's son?
well, they they are very diplomatic.
Yeah. Yep.
They like was.
Yeah. Would that and so somebody asked, where's Little Chicago?
Little Chicago's right outside of about 10 miles north of Marathon City.
Marathon City. Yep, just over
Uh,
by Wausau,
20,
right?
right, 20 minutes northwest of Wausau.
Okay. So Mary Geisler was wondering, Luann, great to meet your dad. I know, he's a great dad. So that let's see here. Last Sunday, no, not yesterday, but a week ago, First Lutheran got back to worshiping, right?
Yeah.
What did you guys do? How'd you make that work?
Well, you know where there's the pavilion up there for the ballpark.
Yep.
That's where we meet. And we'll continue to do that until the weather gets cold, and then we've got to reevaluate. We may be coming back to Central.
Yeah, I suppose it all depends on the disease and or the virus and everything. So
Right. Well, you know that the reason I don't have a problem having a sermon out of my office. It's the technology.
yeah, you're pretty good at it.
It took me 45 minutes just to get hooked up to you this morning.
I know.
What would it be like if I did it every week?
I know, Dad. Do you remember? It was like 3 weeks ago. You accidentally or mistakenly went live on your Facebook account, and it was like it was 4 minutes of looking at your feet until Adam got a hold of you and said, "Dad, you're live on Facebook."
Yep. I don't know how I did it, but
that was awesome. This is really cool though. How many people showed up for the first Sunday?
51.
51.
1/4 of the population of Exlon.
You always say that. Absolutely.
I go by percentages.
We're all right, so let's the people who are watching, let's get to know you a little better. Where did you go to high school?
Eau Claire Memorial.
Eau Claire. The high school, right?
Right. Well, back then it was the high school because there wasn't two high schools until the fall that I graduated.
Ah,
60.
Gotcha. And so what year did you graduate from Memorial?
1962 BC, before cell phones.
Before cell phones. That's awesome. And then you went to UW Eau Claire. You enrolled at UW Eau Claire for a little bit because Vietnam was ramping up, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And if you stayed in college, you didn't get called into the service. However, as you know my history, I didn't do very well the first 2-3 years of college. And Uncle Sam says, if you don't want to study, we got something else for you to do. So I ended up in the service for 3 years. I was a draft dodger. I enlisted.
You enlisted because you knew your number was picked, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you enlisted and you were you served in Vietnam. What was it? We were talking about this. Was it 66, 68?
1997 through about July or August of 1968.
Yeah, 67 through 68. Yeah,
Right.
and you were staying. What's that, Dad?
I was there for the Tet Offensive.
Tet Offensive. Yes. And where were you stationed in Vietnam?
An Khie, which is the Central Highlands, for 6 months, and then way up in the northern part of Vietnam.
Okay.
That was that offensive. We moved up there.
Man, and then I think we're coming up on a year, but one of my highlights from last year was taking you down to the Vietnam Memorial in Washington D.C.
Oh yeah,
that was amazing, Dad. Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, it was very moving.
Yep, very moving. Very especially especially when we wanted to find the wall for the years that you were there, and we told them, and he's like, oh, you were there in '68. That was kind of that was when we lost the most
Yep.
through that Tet offense. Uh,
Mhm.
so okay, so you serve our country, and you were in the dental corps, weren't you?
Yep. Made false teeth, crowns and bridges, partials.
Yep, man. It, so the kids love it when you come to their school and talk about when you're there for like Veterans Day or whatever, and you talk about and you bring your little box with false teeth and all that stuff. But you come back from Vietnam, right? Did you think like,
Right.
hey, maybe I should go to dentistry school, or maybe I should do something that I learned in Vietnam in the military? But I mean, did you think about dental school, or what?
Oh, yes. I thought about it, but after doing what I did, I thought this isn't for me. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's so repetitive.
Yeah. So what was your undergrad then when you got back and you went back to UW Eau Claire to finish up?
Right. Well, to basically start over and finish up. Started out as an engineer, and I was taking all kinds of math classes. And in high school, I didn't take any geometry, or I just took basic high school. My professor called it arithmetic. You didn't take math, you took arithmetic, and you have a lot of remedial stuff to do. And I said, well, enough of the math, enough of the engineering. So then I got interested in political science. I like observing and watching how people vote and why they vote the way they do and that kind of stuff. And then I got interested in something that I hated in high school: speech. Today it's called communication. And went from there. Then went to Wartburg Seminary, the seminary. Didn't go to the Bible school, Luther.
Whatevs, whatevs. I knew that was coming.
It was coming. And the rest is history.
So you came out with communications. How many years were you in college then?
Um, about as many as you were.
I wonder where I get that from.
Get it from.
Yeah.
What was the question?
So so okay, through all of this, who who did God use in your life to kind of nudge you towards ministry? I mean, how on earth did that happen?
Willis Gertner.
What's that?
Willis Gertner.
Who's that?
He was the campus pastor in at the university when I was going there after Vietnam.
Okay, but
And he was very influential.
all right. So shout out to campus ministry and how important campus ministry is, huh?
Oh yeah, yep, very much so.
Yeah.
And he steered me to the seminary.
Okay. So
Wartburg.
so you graduate, you go to Wartburg down in Iowa.
Right.
Dubuque, and you graduate. Now we weren't the ELCA back then when you graduated,
No,
right?
the ALC.
We were the ALC, and you got placed up in basically northern Wisconsin.
Right. When I came out of the seminary, there were no openings.
Okay.
Bishops didn't want to get students because they had no place to put them.
Yeah. So you tell that story. You basically they put you in this before they called them synods. They put you in this area, right?
Called a district.
District, and you went into the president. Tell them the story.
And Vern Anderson was the district president at the time. They didn't call them bishops. And he had to take 2 students. He was not really excited about it because there was only one opening at the time. And the pastor there, and I'm not going to say his name or where it was from, but the pastor there interviewed both of us, didn't want either one of us. So I worked at Uniroyal at the time. And finally, I had to make a choice between Uniroyal and the ministry. And I just said, well, I'm still waiting for a call. I finally did get a call to St. Peter's.
St. Peter's in Little Chicago.
Yeah. Little Chicago.
Man,
first call.
Unreal. So you've seen, man, talk about someone who's seen the change in the church.
Oh boy.
Or both church and the relationship the church has with culture, I should say.
Oh yeah.
So you came out, when you came out of seminary, like there was literally the supply versus the demand. There was no demand, and students were still coming out of seminary. Where today it's the complete opposite. We have so many churches that need a pastor, and they're just not coming out of seminary. And so our synod, for example, we average anywhere from 20 to 30 openings, churches that are waiting on pastors, and we're lucky if we get one. On a good year, I'm told we might get 2 seminary graduates coming out of seminary. I mean, talk about a complete 180, right?
Oh, you better believe it. Back when I came out of the seminary, if you turned your first call down, you were pretty well blackballed.
Okay.
We'll go into something else because it was hard to find a place to place the pastors.
Yeah. But then you end up, Amber Ebert's watching too. She is now watching her 2 favorite pastors. Ned Lenhart is her 3rd. So I'll make that clear right now, Amber. So,
who's number 1?
Well, I'll leave that up to her. Probably you first. So, so then you end up not just in Exland, but you end up at Bruce and Exland, Nathaniel Lutheran in Bruce and First Lutheran in Exland. You were at a 2-point parish for so many years, and that's basically where Adam and I were raised. I mean, I wasn't born there, but I essentially was raised there because you moved there like 3 months after I was born. So, for you. What's the most significant shift in church, or better yet, in ministry? Like what's the most challenging thing that you see facing pastors and churches today?
Oh boy.
I got you.
You got the big challenge is to continue to spread the gospel and keep it alive. Through the different media, the different opportunities that we have today for spreading the good news are almost limitless. Mm-hmm. We got to learn to use that. Not me. I'm over the hill.
Yeah.
I love what you're doing. And what other pastors are doing. I'm a kind of a friend of St. Peter's out in New York because I started watching him. And he's traditionalist, which is kind of fun. And then watching you, which is, the way things are going to be going. And the one thing we have to figure out is how to keep these small churches like Exland going.
Amen.
Exland's going to go. That church is such a lively church.
Yeah.
But are they going to be able to have a pastor or a leader that's, going to keep it going?
Right.
And that's the difficult part. You're not going to get guys like you or gals like you coming out of the seminary that's going to want to run to Exland.
Right. Right. And what I love about it is, I'll be honest, Central Lutheran's a big church. I mean, we're one of the biggest churches in our synod, and so everybody always seems to say, oh, the big churches, they have it going, they've got the resources, all that stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, there's some amazing small churches in rural communities that have a lot to offer just the greater church. I mean, there's things that I think that Central can learn from First Lutheran and Excellent, and there's things that First Lutheran and Excellent can do because of their size that we can't do, that I'm envious of. I hate to say that, but when you talk about worshiping a quarter of the population in Excellent at First Lutheran, and you have to meet in a pavilion, because if you try to meet in your building, you have so many people coming, you couldn't practice social distancing. I mean, that's something's happening in this rural community that is so proud of their church and being God's hands and feet in the Sawyer County, in the whole Sawyer County. It's just awesome.
One of the things I did during this time was to call everybody on my list. Yeah. I challenge you to do the same.
We got 7 people who are calling people. So
and you got 7 people doing it. I did it to them all, and every one of them said, "When can we start worship again?"
Yeah.
And I'm the amazing thing. I shared this with Pastor Barnett. His name is, from St. Peter's out in New York. We're confirming 10 kids this year.
Yeah.
And he, who is a pastor of a rather, not as big as Central, but a rather larger congregation, said it's been over 10 years before I have confirmed even 8 kids. Yeah. So it's amazing. And you know where Excellent is. It's out in the middle of basically nowhere.
But it's such amazing community.
It's they are. It's why I'm not totally retired.
Right?
I love it up. I miss them.
Jody Pino jumped on. Good morning, Jody. How you doing? Jody's talking to her 2 favorite pastors now too. So or watching. Have you been to the Buckhorn yet? Speaking of confirmands, I believe the owner of the Buckhorn is one of your confirmands again.
Oh yes.
So you haven't stopped in yet?
Got to stop in once I get a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Going to places like that.
Yep.
It will happen, but excited for them. Starting a new adventure back at her hometown. Glad to see that she moved back.
Yeah.
The one thing I really appreciate about Excellence, I know everyone in the congregation.
Yeah.
I even know their dogs' names, their cats' names.
Yep.
I know what their favorite sport is, baseball.
Yeah, baseball, absolutely.
It's a fantastic little community.
So how about that? If for people watching, if they found themselves driving around and they end up in Excellent, what should they check out? I mean, the main street's not super long, but what's one of the things they should check out?
Oh, they got to stop at the Buckhorn, naturally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't go to Excellent and not go to the Buckhorn and see all the baseball trophies. It's amazing. At one time, Excellent was the only city in the whole state, other than Madison and Milwaukee, that had 3 men's baseball teams.
I know. Remember that?
They are wild. Well, you've seen the field.
Yeah.
They are proud of baseball tradition.
Yep.
The other thing you got to do is look at their water tower. I'm not going to tell you any more than that, but you know what it looks like.
Yep. Absolutely. And then what I love is you blink, you go through Excellent, but then you're in the beautiful kind of the Blue Hills, and
Oh,
the country in Excellent is just absolutely
beautiful.
gorgeous. So
It's great,
yeah.
great people.
Well, Dad, what do you parting words? What do you want to, words of encouragement? What do you want to say to everybody who's watching right now on Facebook Live? And just as we go into the summer months, and we kind of, it's great. Things are opening up. We're it feels like we're kind of back to some kind of normalcy, I guess, if you will. But there's still that unknown, when we come into the fall. I mean, just what are words of encouragement spoken by the Reverend Larry Lawrence Sturgis?
Oh boy.
Let's have at it.
Just relax, enjoy life, and let God's grace continue to surprise you.
Ah, I've stole that a couple times in my letters. Yep. Let God's
Yep.
grace continue to surprise you. I love it, Dad, and I love you. Thank you so much. Again, happy Father's Day. Thanks for the great day yesterday. I'm sorry I didn't get you anything. I mean, I grilled you some steaks, but Mom bought the steaks, so.
You you gave me your presence.
Yes.
That's enough.
Well,
The
Dad.
other boy,
Oh, go ahead.
the other boy, he's out in the lake fishing.
I know. I know. And he probably not watches, so yeah, I know I'm your favorite, but.
Okay.
All right, Dad. I love you. I'll talk to you later, and I'll
Yep.
help here. I'll help you get off here. I'll end your Zoom meeting really quick for you, and then you don't have to worry. Tell Mom I love her. All right. Yeah. Right. All right. See ya. All right. So there you go. That is Pastor Aaron Sturgis's dad, Larry Sturgis, on this special edition of Father's Day. So I hope everybody who's watching, you just learned something a little bit more about my dad, and he's an awesome dad. Man, that's hard to believe. So 41, he's coming up on 45 years of ordained ministry. That is just blows my mind to think of somebody and what he's seen and so forth. So I just want to thank everybody for jumping on and joining us this morning. We're going to be here again on Wednesday at 8:30. So I would really encourage you to get up, have your first cup of coffee with Jesus, and then grab a second cup of coffee and jump on. You can watch this on our app. So download our app. You can watch us at our webpage if you want. So do that as well. But we'll be here on Facebook Live at 8:30 on Wednesday. Tomorrow we will have First Cup. On Tuesday and Thursdays, we have First Cup. It's a real simple guided meditation, a guided prayer for about 5 minutes. That's it. So just follow along with it. It's at 7 o'clock. And if you get up, if you're not an early riser and you get up at, say, 8:30, go onto our website, go onto our app. You can still watch it. And again, your First Cup is with Jesus. And then we will have Worship Live, Wednesday Worship Live happening at 6:30 on Wednesday. And we apologize last week. Facebook just has not been working very well for us. And so we apologize for that. Last week we had some technical difficulties, but we're back in worship online, Wednesday Worship Live here at Facebook on our website or on our app as well. Hope you all are doing great. Miss you all. Love you. Have a great week. And I'll talk to you soon. Later.